Hello friend, how you doing? Thank you so much for checking in. You don't know how much I appreciate that. I was really excited today when I walked in and saw the hydrangeas finally showing off their bright colors. This flower bed desperately needs some attention, but it's not in my to-do list today. The lawn is coming together and I just love how everything is taking shape slowly by slowly. I don't know if I ever did a video about this, but I got 8 chicks from the 2 hens that I have. They're 5 weeks old today, and unfortunately I lost 2 of them. That made me really sad. If you keep chickens, you know the pain of losing even just one. To be honest, I've not been very keen on how they are taken care of. I just somehow left the work to my farmhand, and occasionally when I walk in here, I do a few things, feed them, but I'm never really keen on how they live. Chicken are the easiest and also the hardest animals to keep. Easy in the sense that you can give them enough feed and water to drink and just forget about them until the following day. And also very hard in the sense that in a blink of an eye, you could lose your entire flock. They are very prone to diseases, and keeping the coop clean is key in ensuring you keep healthy chickens. As I was doing a random inspection of the coop, I realized that the drinkers stink. Looks like it's been a really long time since they were washed. They have this slimy layer of dirt inside them, meaning the water is not changed regularly, and that's quite dangerous for chickens. I'm always very hands-on when it comes to chores in my home. I don't know why I did not think about this. I gave all the instructions on how the chickens should be taken care of, but I forgot to supervise. I love my trees and flowers, and I think I've just been putting so much focus on the outdoors that I forgot about my chickens. All I always remember is to collect the eggs, but now things are going to change. Talking of eggs, there will be no more collecting of eggs. I decided to eat my layers because they were no longer productive. They were not laying regularly, and that's the point, they have to go. I have plans of bringing in new layers, but I won't be doing that until I build a chicken coop, which I intend to do in the coming weeks. I'm definitely going to miss gathering eggs. That was such a beautiful and fulfilling part of homesteading. The birds I have now are for the purpose of multiplying my stock and also for meat, so I'd want them to be as organic as possible. So I will only be giving them herbal medicine. I usually use ginger and chili peppers. We also have a herbalist who gives us herbs for our chickens. The next time he comes around, I will ask him the herbs he uses and share that with you. I add the ginger and the chili peppers into their drinking water, and I've seen amazing results over the years. That's what even my mother does. We really try to stay away from laboratory drugs for our chickens. My chickens are still not able to enjoy the outdoors. They are usually indoors 24/7, but that will change once I build them a chicken coop. So whenever I come around, I bring them some treats of the things they don't get from their daily feed. like vegetables, fruits. They really enjoy these treats. It feels like someone bringing pizza in your prison cell. I brought fruits too. We had some overripe purple fruits. They do miss fruits a lot, so this is a real treat for them. My home is still a homestead in the making, and there's very little time to rest. There's always just so much work to do. If I'm not working in the house, there's always work in the garden, growing food, working on the flower beds, planting trees, leveling the grounds, just trying to make everything beautiful and the home habitable. I grew up working in my mother's homestead. I'm so used to working, it is not something I shy away from. I can do different chores from morning to evening with very short breaks, but I'm not the kind of person who will sit down, watch a mess, and not fix it. I love clean, beautiful spaces, and I know it takes time and some energy, and someone has to do it. Every chore I do in my home is done with a lot of passion and very high expectation, and the result is always rewarding. I have been growing different vegetables in my garden. A garden I've always called a lab because I'm just experimenting with different things. And I've come to accept that there are things that will not grow on the ground. So I'm going to be having some raised beds very soon. And I'm sowing these seeds in readiness for the first raised bed. These are red onion seeds. I'm sowing them in an improvised grow bag, which will act as the nursery bed. And once the beds are ready, we shall transfer them. I always start my seeds in containers like this. So the reason we are doing the raised beds is because of the type of soil that I have here, the clay soil, and some plants cannot stand the stagnant waters or the ever wet soils. So having the raised beds is going to help us with better drainage. So there are lots of areas on my yard that look like this. There's a hole there. There are ditches that we had dug to drain water in the past. They are a hazard, especially now that I plan to move in. So what I want to do next is fill up the ditches, the holes, any sunken spaces that is there in the yard. When excavating for the biotank, we had a lot of soil left, and that's what I will be using to fill up the ditches. For the deeper areas, I will be using these rocks here. It is a kind of rock that breaks very easily, and its color is grayish. So I will first be filling up the holes and then cover it with soil. This is one task that is not very easy, and I cannot do it in a day. There are so many spaces, gaps to fill. So I will be doing it bit by bit until the ground is leveled. For now, let me take a little rest before I move to the next chore of the day. As I make preparations to move into my new house, one of the things I'd like to have is enough food for me and my children. So I grow all kinds of fruits and vegetables, especially those that I know we use a lot. And today I want to plant some soya beans. I usually grow beans that we call nyayo beans, but I've never tried soya. So this is going to be the first time I'm doing soya. I really loved it. I had it at a friend's place with chapati and it tasted so good. So I'd love to have my own. I got some seeds and let's plant and see how this one goes. It's one of those beans that have no gas. If you know, you know. And one last thing I must do today is prune a tree in my backyard that I planted a while ago. It's growing up straight and tall with just a few branches. And I'd like it to have more branches, spread them out, and have more shade. So what you do when you want your trees to grow more branches is to prune. So I'll be cutting all the branches that are growing upwards, and from that joint we are going to have more branches growing, and that's how we get shade from our trees. So this is how it looks after the pruning. I expect lots of branches. So in places where I made the cut, just right there, we are going to have more branches coming out of those places. And this here is the well that I have been using for water. It is breeding all kinds of creatures that I don't want here. There are lots of frogs in it. There are mosquitoes laying their eggs in it, and it is time we covered it up. So that's a project for another day. It's been a really productive day, and I want to thank you all for hanging out with me. I really appreciate your presence always. It's bye for now. I'll see you in the next.